What I'm going to talk to you about today is the characteristics of an entrepreneur, and I'm going to give you the reality of being an entrepreneur, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is a viable option for all of you right now at this age. You are hopefully don't have any children yet. You're not married. You're young, and starting entrepreneurship at this age is exciting, and it's something that you can do without a lot of the burdens as you get older. Now, I'm not saying you can't be an entrepreneur when you are married and have children, but the first couple years of entrepreneurship, you're working very long hours. We're talking 12, 13 hours a day, but you're working for yourself. You're not working for somebody else. You're not making somebody else rich. That money's going back into your pocket. And that's probably why you're all sitting here today, is because you don't want to work for the man. You want to be the drivers of your own future. You want to be your own bosses. And I understand that. So, entrepreneurship. Are you an entrepreneur? Just a little bit about me, just to give you an idea. I worked in television for 7 years. Television was a changing medium. It was all going into Toronto. And at the time, I was adopting a little girl, so I decided, okay, I want to stay home a little bit longer. So I dove into entrepreneurship. I ran my own business for 4 years so that I could have more time with my daughter. In that time, I got headhunted to work at Myers Norris Penny, so I ran the self-employment program for 2.5 years, helped about 180 entrepreneurs start their business through that. Then I started working for the Canadian Youth Business Foundation, and 58 businesses have opened their doors in that time. And we're on route to do another 40 in this fiscal year. So just to give you an idea is I have touched every industry. So if you want to talk about restaurants, tech, I have touched it all. So I understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur in those industries. So please feel free afterwards to grab my card. There is a booklet up front called Starting a Business. It talks about where you need to go, Canada Manitoba Business Service Center, some other places. So please feel free to grab one as well. All right, so there is no magic pill for becoming an entrepreneur. There isn't. It's going to be hard work and dedication. So what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person who seeks a profitable opportunity, takes the necessary risks to operate that business. So you have to be a risk taker who takes action to pursue opportunities in situations where others fail to recognize and or may view as problems. Now, I'll give you an example of, I believe his last name is Aziz. He's 24 years old. He was watching Willy Wonka, and he thought it was kind of cool that during that one scene, the kids were licking the wallpaper, and it tasted like candy in the factory. He thought, wouldn't that be cool? So he actually invented lickable strips that alcohol companies, candy companies are utilizing, and they send them to suppliers. They're going to start putting them in magazines, and you basically lick it to get the flavor of something. So that came from just watching a movie, something cool. Now, was he a chemist or a scientist? No. But he surrounded himself with a team of people that helped his vision come to fruition. And that's what entrepreneurship is. It's surrounding yourself with a team. When you're young like this, I tell people, look into a partnership. It's very difficult to do it by yourself, and you don't necessarily have all the skills when you're 18, 19, 20 years old. So if you can find a partner, somebody who has the strengths where you have weaknesses, and yes, I know at this age that you feel that you're all indestructible and that you know everything sometimes. I mean, I remember when I was 18, yeah, I thought I did. But you do have weaknesses, and you don't know everything. So you need to find those people that can help you and make those dreams come true. One of my entrepreneurs is Abi Khan. He's a football player. And he just opened up a business 8 months ago called Shawarma Khan in the Exchange District. Abi knows nothing about running a restaurant. He's a football player, and he was a darn good one at that. But he surrounded himself with a team of people that knew how to run restaurants. He had a friend that flew in from Toronto, helped him start it up, and actually trained him. Now, when you go to Obby's restaurant, you will see him behind the counter every single day. And he knows how to run that restaurant now. But that just gives you examples that you don't necessarily have to have all the skills when you're running a business, as long as you have a really good team behind you. So what are the characteristics of an entrepreneur? Vision. You have to have a unique idea. So, I mean, you can go out and patent things, but in this day and age, you've all seen knockoffs of things. All they have to do is change something that's just a little bit, and then your patent isn't valid anymore. So sometimes going for a patent is a good idea, but don't count on it. There's a lot of legal ramifications around that. But have a unique idea. High energy level. You have to be willing to work long, hard hours. Like I said earlier, you're going to be working longer hours than you've ever worked for anybody else, but you're doing it for yourself. And there's something satisfying about going home at the end of the day and realizing that this is your dream and that you're making it happen. The need to achieve. So all you entrepreneurs out there, do you want to excel? Do you enjoy the challenge of reaching personal goals and are dedicated to personal success? Do you have self-confidence? Sometimes at this age, you don't necessarily have that self-confidence. And I've had a lot of young entrepreneurs coming in, and they're scared, and they don't necessarily have the confidence to move forward yet. And that's part of what I do, is I mentor. I'm starting to get known in the business community as the business mom. So we give you a business mentor for 2 years when you come through CYBF, but I am there for my entrepreneurs as long as they'll have me. So the people that started 2.5 years ago, I'm still in their lives, still there for anything that they need. Because entrepreneurs, especially the younger ones, they need that extra help. And you have to learn your elevator pitch, and you have to learn how to brag a little bit and say, you know what, this is my business, and this is what I can do. And because in Winnipeg, I've noticed there are a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people that say that it's not going to work. I have an entrepreneur, Eyewear Technology, or Eyewear Evolution, sorry. He's developed a 3D model for buying glasses online. He is working with the people that did Ice Age, the 3 movies. So they're doing the technology behind that. 26 points on the face, and you can actually buy glasses online, and it looks real. There's some other ones out there, but they don't really work very well. He had this idea. He talked to probably 6 or 7 people in the industry. They all told him, you have to move to Toronto if you want to do this. You can't stay in Winnipeg. It's not going to work. Then he found me. I said, no, you're not moving away. I don't want you young people to move away from Winnipeg and go to Toronto and Calgary. Winnipeg, Manitoba is an amazing province, and I want you guys to stay here and open your own businesses. So Sean stayed here. He opened his business. He got into Spin Master. He represented Western Canada. He's got CEOs on board. He's signed huge contracts already. I can't say what they are, but he's on his way to becoming a millionaire one day, and he's going to stay in Winnipeg. So don't let the naysayers tell you that you have to move away to do something or that your idea isn't a good idea. Pursue it. Do the research. Have confidence in yourself. Do you have a tolerance for failure? You can't be easily discouraged. You have to continue trying when others give up. And you have to view setbacks and failures as learning experiences, because it's going to happen. Some of the entrepreneurs that I have met have tried several other businesses prior, and they failed, but they learned something from every mistake that they made. And it made them stronger, and it made the business idea that's actually making the money work, because they made the mistakes in smaller businesses. So they learned from that. I mean, you look at people like J.A. Rawlings, or I believe it's J.A. Rawlings, who wrote Harry Potter. Do you know how many times she was rejected for that book? Dozens. Everybody said that it was a horrible book, that it wasn't going to, that young people weren't going to enjoy it. But she didn't give up. Same with Disney. He's an entrepreneur, and a lot of people told him that it wouldn't work. The whole Disney theme park just would not work, and that he should give up his dream and just go work for somebody else. And he didn't. And look at multi-billion-dollar what the Disney franchise is. Creativity. Are you creative? Do you devise innovative ways to overcome difficult problems and situations? Do you have a tolerance for ambiguity? You take uncertainty in stride, but you're not a reckless gambler. Being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you're a gambler, that you take unnecessary risks. You have to be able to take some risks, but they're strategic. You think about them. And do you have an internal locus of control? You believe that you control your own fate, and you take personal responsibility for your successes and failures. That's very important as an entrepreneur, because if your business fails, you can't blame everybody else. You have to look within yourself as well. So why pick entrepreneurship? Being your own boss. That's probably why a lot of you are here. Over the past 10 years, large companies have eliminated more jobs than they have created. You know, 20, 30 years ago, people could stay in jobs for 20, 30, 40 years. That's not like that anymore. I'm on my 4th career. I've worked for probably 6 big companies, because as soon as you get to a certain salary level in many industries, you're getting laid off. They're restructuring, and they're hiring someone half your age at half the price. And it's going to happen to all of you one day. That's just a reality of what's happening out there. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's not going to happen. Unless you get a board of directors and they oust you. So be careful about that. Financial success. Entrepreneurs are wealth creators. 66% of all millionaires are self-employed. 66%. And it isn't all the tech business. Quality of life. Starting a business gives you some choice over where, when, and how you work. But you got to remember, the first couple of years, you're not necessarily going to have that quality of life. But it will happen. You just have to recognize that you can't just put up a sign, you can't just build the app, and that you're going to be rich overnight, and that you're going to have all this time to travel around the world. You're going to have to work it for a couple of years. So, some common myths about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are born, not made. That's a myth. Entrepreneurs are gamblers. That's a myth. Money is the key to entrepreneurial success. There are many entrepreneurs who started businesses not for the money, but to make a difference. Social entrepreneurship is huge now. And a lot of entrepreneurs that are actually coming through CYBF are donating back to the community, to cancer organizations, to youth organizations, because they want to give back. And the other myth is you must have a degree in business to be an entrepreneur. That's not true. So I encourage all of you to go to college, university, because you're going to learn a lot from that. It's going to help you with your writing skills, your networking skills. It's going to help you grow. But if for some reason you start a business before you finish, you can do it. But I certainly encourage you to go to university first. So starting a new venture, these are just some of the things. So a lot of you are saying, okay, well, how do I start? What if I have an idea? So you just need to make sure the idea can satisfy a need in the marketplace. Recognize what's lacking around you. And here in Winnipeg, I see so much potential. And I have so many questions about our roads. Why can't they fix the roads? Come on, somebody come up with something that where the roads don't break apart every year. There's got to be something. We can put a heart into somebody else's body and we can't fix our own roads. So I'm putting that challenge out there. Find something you love to do and you're good at. You've got to have that passion. Identify future needs for products that no one yet offers. Evaluate existing goods and services and think about how you can improve it. Every time you go out, you get a service, go to a restaurant, keep thinking in the back of your head, how could they do this better? Or what could I do to make it easier or faster or cleaner? And you'd be surprised what you come up with. Conduct market research. Talk to people. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs fail. They think they have a great idea. They come to me, they're ready to go. But it's like, okay, who's your target market? Who's going to buy this? Have you talked to people? Will they buy this? Winnipeg is a test market. I don't know if a lot of you know that. But if it works in Winnipeg, it works across Canada because we have a unique culture here. And the people here are a unique target market. So you have to always think about the Winnipeg target market when you're moving forward. And consider buying an existing business. One of the things that I'm trying to do is succession planning. I'm trying to encourage young people to think about buying their parents' businesses if they are entrepreneurs. And you don't have to run the business like your parents did. What can you do to bring it into the millennium? What unique things can you do to change it? So it's an option. Creating a business plan. I'm not going to talk about it much, but you have to write a business plan. And you do it more for yourself than even the lenders. It's a roadmap, an operation manual. It's going to change and evolve, but you need to get everything that's in your head down on paper so that other people can understand it and give you that feedback. Financing. Manitoba is one of the few provinces that has the best financing out there for entrepreneurs. The Young Entrepreneur Grant just came back, April 1st. So you can get up to $4,000 starting a business. The Canadian Youth Business Foundation, we're right across Canada. 16 years we've been in business. We've helped 5,400 entrepreneurs start businesses in Canada. And those entrepreneurs have created over 20,000 jobs. So basically, if you're 18 to 39, you can come to us. We'll give you financing. We'll give you mentorship. Manitoba Business Start Loan, $30,000 to start a business. Government guaranteed. Agricultural loans and grants, rural grants, and Entrepreneurs with Disabilities has an amazing program as well. So there is a lot of opportunity for you, a lot of financing, a lot of resources. So now's the time to really start looking into entrepreneurship. Just to give you an idea, I'm just watching the time here, got about 5 minutes. Most successful entrepreneurs of our time. Most of you have heard of these people. Founders of Google. They were 25 years old when they started Google. Apple, Steve Jobs was only 21. Microsoft, Bill Gates was 20. Facebook, I mean, everyone knows about Facebook. He was 20 years old. But a lot of people don't know that the founder of Walmart was 26 years old. And yes, Walmart was started by an entrepreneur. Every single business was started by an entrepreneur. Because I hear some people come in and they say, oh, my parents have told me to go get a real job, to work for somebody. Well, being an entrepreneur is a real job. All those places that you're going to go work for, how do you think they started? They started with one person's vision. They were started by an entrepreneur. So sometimes you've got to change other people's ways of thinking to get them to understand. Because if you've got that fire in your belly, and I'm looking at this one guy up here, and he's leaning forward, and I can see an entrepreneur in this guy already. You got that fire in your belly, and you want to move forward. I'm sorry, putting you on the spot. Instagram. A lot of people don't know that Instagram was started by a 24 or 26-year-old. Matthew Corin, here's a Winnipegger, 23, started a business called Freshie. He has since moved from Winnipeg, but he got sick and tired of eating junk food. He'd be on his way to work, really, McDonald's and all those other places along the way. There's no other fast food places that sell healthy stuff. So he started Freshie, and he's in 50 locations in 4 countries now. Adam Goldstein's 21, and he started Hipmunk. That's a travel search website. I wanted to mention some other organizations that you might want to look into. You might want to write down. If you are tech, look into Ramp Up Manitoba. R-A-M-P-U-P, Ramp Up. They are an organization, there's no fee. If you want to start a tech company, go to their meetups. Absolutely amazing. 60, 70 people are there all the time. Free advice. Have you ever heard of AssentWorks? A-S-S-E-N-T Works. First of its kind in Canada. They've got $1.5 million in technology in there, 3D laser printers, etching machines. They have some robotic arms that'll do all these neat things. And you can go in there and use all the tools. Again, when I give you my card, I can send you the information on this if you're interested. There's university clubs like CEO at Asper. Red River College has an entrepreneurship program. And I encourage you to watch Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, if you're inventors, just to get an idea of what it's like out there when you're looking at investors. Just some local entrepreneurs. There is a guy at AscentWorks right now that is developing snowboards. And he developed the snowboards at AscentWorks because he actually they had the technology there so that he could actually create them, test them, and he's going to be going to BC to start using them. Tyler Gumpf was in his 20s when he created a company called Tell Us About Us. And I don't know if you remember that, but he sold it for millions of dollars. Michael Legary, who's doing, at 11:30, he's doing a speech in room 2F. He started Securus. They monitor 2/3 of the internet. So yes, every time we're on the phone with Shaw, MTS, our cell phone, we are being monitored. And what they're doing is looking for keywords that have to do with terrorism. So they're not really listening to us. They just got some sort of binary code that goes through and picks out words. But if you want to hear something cool about that, he's at 11:30 in 2F. And he's a young entrepreneur. So I just want to bring up some of the really neat entrepreneurs that have come through in Manitoba to give you an idea. So we funded 2 of the booster juices. So we do fund franchises. ShawarmaCon, we talked about that. We fund gyms. A guy started bins containers, so that's those big bins that you can take to people's homes, but he's doing it just a little bit different. Every Line Design, they do t-shirts, graphics. Top Notch CrossFit. CrossFit's really popular right now, so he opened up his own gym. Feedback was a breathalyzer machine, started by a young entrepreneur who started a second business with CYBF, and he sold Feedback to another province. F Apparel, started by 3 Asper grads, and they do men's suits, really nice suits. Saigon John's Vietnamese restaurant. The Fresh Carrot in Gimli, they do organic foods. Winnipeg Trolley Company, he bought a trolley from Maryland, and in the summertime actually utilizes it in the downtown Winnipeg, uses it for weddings, grads, that type of thing. Prelude Music, she teaches kids with disabilities how to learn through music. Joist, they invented an app for construction workers, so they could do all their invoicing through an app, and everything can be signed. So it's basically on-the-go computer. Playhouse, he's invented a new controller for the Sony PlayStation and develops games. Euro Sensations, restaurant, hair salons, tanning. Advolve Media, they invented a brand new technology or a software platform that goes into mirrors so that when you go up to the mirror, ads pop up. And it can be video or it can be just standing. And they actually landed the Bomber Stadium 2 weeks ago. So that was very exciting for them. Chiropractics, Nest Family Center, so Poppy Clothing, Tharnazi in Osborne Village, started by 2 guys. It's a women's clothing store. Absolutely amazing clothes. Fun, urban, energy solutions. So he just does foam installation, but he's doing really well. Pomo, they developed 3D interactive environments. The business plan was really hard to read. Interactive Design, he's an Aboriginal, young Aboriginal man who does a lot of filming in the community. Exquisite Taste, they do teas. So that just gives you an idea, and it keeps going on. Entrepreneurs that have started businesses in this community. And I just want to put it out to you that if you're interested in starting a business, that I'm here for you, that other organizations are here for you. And please